everybody, and welcome to your very first round of month ahead forecasts on my channel. I'm so excited to start something new. I'm at a new place. This is like a new filming studio, if you will, and I can't wait to kind of change up my offerings a little bit. And before we begin, I do want to tell you a little bit about that. First and foremost, my name is Yelena Crawford, so welcome back to anyone and everyone that was a previous subscriber. Thank you guys so much. And for anybody that hasn't met me yet, welcome. I'm very happy to have you here. And this is kind of what my channel is going to look like moving forward. So if you were not a previous subscriber, you don't need to worry about what it used to be, but I kind of have a little bit of a new content strategy. So I'm going to be getting rid of my weekly forecast completely, and I'm going to start the month couple days prior to each new month. I'm going to push out forecast videos, which are month ahead forecasts, which is what this is, for all 12 zodiac signs. So you guys can know ahead of time exactly what's happening. And if you weren't already aware, I do offer a written monthly forecast as well. And it's general. It's not by zodiac sign. It's basically all about the collective and the energies that are happening in the month ahead, which can really help you to have that written paper, right? So if you are interested in signing up for my free written cosmic guide, is what I call it, you can go to my website, yelenacrawford.com, and a little pop-up box will come up on the screen where you can enter your email address. But I promise not to spam. I don't really send a whole lot. I maybe inform you guys of new videos or any new offerings I might have or whatever, but that's pretty much it. And then on top of these monthly forecasts, what I plan to do is obviously full and new moon videos, you know, and horoscopes for those as they come along. But also I want to start breaking down significant transits throughout the month. So as the energies are kind of coming in and passing, I want to really dive in and hone in and talk about those as they come along, so we can kind of follow the transits together. So I want to make this really interactive. I may end up doing a lot of lives for some of these things too, but I will definitely make sure to let you guys know ahead of time. And then another one of my offerings is on Instagram, and I've been really kind of amping that up, and I've been doing daily astrology updates. So if you guys really want to follow the astrology on a daily basis as you learn and as it helps you with your own life, then I would highly suggest adding me over at Yelena Crawford Astrology on Instagram as well. I'm going to have stories and daily posts so you guys can keep up to date with the astrology in many different ways. Also, this is a general forecast, and I want to make that very clear that yes, I'm breaking this down by your rising sign. So that kind of sets up the chart, and I'm able to kind of see some of the in and out energies and the different themes that might be brought into focus for you over the next month. But your individual birth chart is what gets activated by these transiting energies. And our birth charts are all completely different. So while this might be hitting somebody and really bringing out positive potential with some of these transits, it could also be really exacerbating a negative portion of someone else's chart. So just keep that in mind. And if you are someone who is maybe navigating big changes and you want to make more sense of it, then contact me for a personal reading. I would highly suggest getting a reading with me or whatever astrologer you deeply resonate with. You can also do that through my website, yelenacrawford.com. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all the announcements for right now. So let's get into the forecast. Happy April Cancer rising. I'm also a fellow Cancer rising, so I'm a little bit more familiar with this chart. And we've got a really interesting energy coming in April. All planets are direct until the very end of the month. And that means that things are moving forward whether we want them to or not, right? And there's a lot of tension, stress-filled energy that creates change, right? Because this is Aries season for the most part until the 19th. And it's all about changing, initiating, taking action, and pivoting in some way in our lives. So yeah, that's happening. But there's also a mixture of really magical energy that's going to be taking place as well. We also have eclipse season that's coming in at the end of the month. And for you specifically, Cancer, this is going to bring a lot of emphasis not only into the areas of career, what you're doing out in the world, as well as maybe for some of you, retirement, considering retirement, or also having something to do with higher educational pursuits, maybe for some travel, and really shaping your belief systems, expanding your consciousness, learning, growing, and developing on a very spiritual level, which in return is having a really nice impact on your identity, who you're becoming as a person. It's really kind of shaping and molding you and helping you to see the world in a lot of different ways. There's maybe some tension or stress-filled dynamics with inner healing, emotions, family matters, as well as maybe some stressful aspects related to money that could come in this month as well, or maybe the obligations that we have to other people. So let's go ahead and break this down so I can give you a better idea here. It also looks like the dynamic of friends could be coming to the forefront a little bit more for a lot of Cancer rising individuals as well. So let's break it down by the most important things that are occurring this month. So we start out the month, Cancer, with seeds being planted, embarking upon new territory, which may or may not be very obvious to us right away, because a lot of times with new moon energy, we have to remember that it's something that just is being planted in the ground, but might not yet be apparent. It might be apparent more so at the end of the month, after we have a lot of action-packed energy and pivoting that's taking place, and it could become even more apparent in 6 months from now with the full moon in Aries. So this is in your career department. So this is really exciting. This is the most public seen part of the chart. You could be noticing, since the sun is transiting this area, that you're getting a lot of recognition, that maybe you're being recognized in some way publicly. Maybe you're getting a promotion, or you're being recognized by a boss, or you're getting a new opportunity in some way, shape, or form. But there's ultimately potentially some growth for most of you, for the most part, that it's going to be taking place. Now, it's obviously a vulnerable thing to be seen publicly, right? And this is something that you've been working through, your public identity, being able to stand in your authentic self, the truth of your expression and who you are. And Chiron has been transiting this area of the chart since 2018. So this is something you've been working through. There could have been some insecurities or weaknesses or things that happened since 2018 related to your career. Probably a lot has happened, right? It's a long time period, but we're kind of reaching a point where the sun is really invigorating you, and you could feel like you're this new person. You could feel like you're stepping into more of your truth, and this is helping you in the career department. Mercury is here as well with this new moon. So you might literally, throughout the course of the month or during the course of this new moon, receive some type of information, another little detail, an idea, a message from someone that helps you figure out next steps towards career path. So for some of you, that might literally be acknowledging how hard you've been working, might literally be a promotion, might literally be what you need to do to move forward towards what it is that you want, right? Because these Taurus eclipses and North Node and all of these things are helping you grow your goals and what you desire moving forward. And a lot of that has to do with our career aspirations, right? So this is a really nice new moon in one respect. And it's cool because the new moon is the sun and the moon conjunct in a sign, and they're both at 11 degrees. So that's 11-11, which is, it's very synchronistic. I don't want to put too much emphasis on the numbers, but I think it's interesting to point that out at least. Now, the ruler of this lunation, this new moon that sets the stage for the month ahead, is Mars. And Mars is aggressive, and it is initiatory. It loves to make the first move and go for what it wants, and it has bravery and courage in doing just that. And Mars is in a little bit of a tense-filled dynamic right now. So that it's almost like, he's stressed. He's soon to come up against a wall. So there could be something that's maybe moving forward and then it halts. And there's maybe something that needs to be changed or restructured, or something does change and restructure, which requires you to somehow pivot. Because this new moon that happens on April 1st will be followed on April 4th by Mars coming into a conjunction with the wall Saturn. So Mars is like the gas pedal, Saturn is like the brake. This is stop and go kind of energy, right? We are feeling a desire to move something forward in our career. So exciting. Maybe it has something to do with dating. Maybe it has something to do with romance. All of these things that we love to do. Lots of passion, lots of drive, lots of excitement potentially. And then it hits Saturn. And Saturn is bringing us back down to reality, showing us what we have to be responsible for, maybe bringing in a little bit more responsibility where we are obligated to someone or something, or we have a debt that needs to pay off, that we need to pay off. And this can bring in a little bit of stress, a little bit of tension. Maybe it is a boss, or maybe it is a relationship that's somehow having us take a look at our shadow qualities or how much we need to heal. And this can seem like a little bit of a burden that prevents us from moving forward in a way that we would like to right now. But that's okay, because this is all very divine, because this Saturn-Mars conjunction is squaring the nodes. It's creating a T-square. And the nodes are in your house of friends, groups, goals, and it's opposing the South node, which is dating, romance, sex, fun, play, celebration, but also your creative self-expression, your gifts that you hold within you. So somehow Saturn and Mars are colliding, and there's a choice point. There is a shift. There is a pivot that may require more responsibility on your part. There could be a roadblock as well that needs to be worked through in order for you to make this change that you would like to make towards all of those lovely things that I just mentioned. This could very well be associated with a debt. This, for some of you, will very well have to do with taxes, because I know that that's very much what I'm going to be dealing with in the next week too. I'm just waiting for the final word of how much I owe. And so this could have a lot to do with that. Maybe some of you are trying to get a loan for some goals or something that you have, and that's a challenge. Now, some of you, maybe this has to do with a joint financial venture, right? That is coming up against a stressor of some sort. This could also have to do, for some, maybe you are waiting on an insurance payout or waiting on an inheritance, and there could be some challenges and stress and tension that's associated with all of that, right? But ultimately, this is just a slow energy. We have to remember, too, that the 8th house is all about deep healing. It's also about death. So for some, Saturn and Mars coming together is quite a malefic energy. Some may see a literal or a metaphorical death of some sort with an old version of themselves, which can be painful, right? There can be a wall that we hit in our healing process, which can be challenging. It can challenge our friendships. It can challenge our love relationships and the people we want to date. We might come up against fears, right? This is a house of fear, anxiety, compulsions, obsessions, addictions. So these are some challenges that you might be extremely stressed by at the beginning of the month. Just you'll have to wrap your mind around how that exactly plays out for you. But like I said, this is passing energy, and we start to get into some more nice energies as we move into April 5th, which is the day after this conjunction, and Mars begins to split away slowly but surely from Saturn. On April 5th, Venus, the planet of love, beauty, personal magnetism, our interpersonal relationships and connections with friends, lovers, people that we like to be around. It's our desires and what brings us joy and indulgence and fun. So Venus moves into Pisces, which brings all of those energies into higher learning and education and travel and intermingling with other cultures and foreign affairs. And it's really a big learning house. This can be literally the desire to expand spiritually, which you draw to teachers or people with a lot of wisdom and knowledge that help you do just that. This can really ground you emotionally and help you to work through maybe some ancestral stuff or work through some deep emotional issues that might stem from issues from family matters or something like that. So I really do love this energy. This is going to start to bring in more of an optimism than you already have, even though we have Jupiter here, which is trining, for a lot of you, is trining your ascendant, which is nice. This is helping you to automatically go through this spiritual process of growth and expansion. You may just be so gung-ho about learning right now, about traveling, which can sometimes be a learning experience in itself, a spiritual experience in itself, and your consciousness, your belief systems, the way that you see things, which then changes and in return affects the relationships that you have. It affects the way you approach the world, the kind of goals you have, the kind of people you want in your life. These are all things that are changing right now, and you are really blossoming and going through quite a process. Saturn has been in your 8th house since 2020, It'll be there until the spring of next year. And this is really helping you to release your reliance on other people for money, possessions, energy, or anything that it might be. But it's also helping you to heal some of your traumas. And you might be bringing in teachers right now that help you with that, which is a really, really nice thing. Jupiter and Neptune will conjunct on April 12th. This is what we've all been waiting for. This can really expand your mind, expand your consciousness. Some of you will literally be going through big spiritual experiences. You might have like miraculous things happen. You might notice more synchronicity. You might have chance meetings with other people. This could bring in amazing work opportunities for some of you, or it could help you get more in a better routine with your health, well-being, nutrition, body, all of those kinds of things, since Jupiter rules your 6th house as well, which is all of those things. This could also bring in a romantic connection of some sort with maybe somebody that you met at work, or maybe somebody you met at the gym, or somebody that you somehow ran into in your daily grind, I guess you could say. This could be a purpose-related connection because the 9th house is very much about purpose. So I like this energy a lot for you, especially since it trines the ascendant and it sextiles the descendant. So if you are somebody specifically that has like your ascendant and descendant between, gosh, let's just say 10 to 29 degrees, or let's say 13 to 29 degrees, just to give you a little wider orb, of Cancer, then that is going to really, 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 really affect you. And you'll notice. But I'd say any Cancers for that matter, or any other placements you have. So this is really nice, okay? I like that. So anyways, then we'll move on to the full moon, which is another stressor this month. So it's almost like we go through this magic, but we reach another point of stress and tension. The full moon is happening in the family sector. This is not just family, but it's also your place of living. It's your home. It's the people you live with. It's your animals, because those are family members, right? So this could be the culmination, ending of something. Could be a family member. There was a lot of activation here with the 8th house, which is potential death, metaphorical, literal. I don't want to focus on that, but it is a possibility. This could also be maybe just ways that you once operated in relationships with your friends or with your family members. It's making a T-square to Pluto in the 7th house of relationships. So this could very well be a relationship with a family member. It could require some sort of transformation. It could be you working through a stress that involves power struggles with family. Who holds the power? And something needs to be changed. Something needs to be let go of. So this could be acknowledging something within the place that you live, and maybe something needs to be changed. Maybe you have an issue that comes up with the contract, or your lease or something with your home, or maybe you're trying to sell your home and you're having some issues with that, and something needs to be restructured in some way, transformed in some way. So that is obviously something that will come up as well that could be a little bit of a stress or tense-filled dynamic near the end of the month. That could even be money related, mortgage related, debt related, tax related, joint finance related. So this is almost as if it's just stemming from that Mars-Saturn conjunction at the end of the beginning of the month. Then after that stressor, that energy doesn't last that long, and then T-squares ultimately will create a breakthrough of some sort, because it's usually tension and stress that requires us to move through something. And then we move into Taurus season. And Taurus season is always nice for you guys too, because the sun then sextiles your ascendant. And that's really nice energy. That's very supportive of you being in your light, you stepping into your truth, you enjoying life through through indulgences and feeling more comfortable and secure and really enjoying life, right? Now this is going to light up the sector of friendship, as well as the people who benefit us, beneficiaries of some sort, the groups that we're involved with of similar goals, of similar interests. This for some might really get you amped up about going out there and fighting for human rights or something, or, you know, pursuing something related to humanity, okay? Now this could also, if it's somebody that has a following, you have a social media presence, you are online somehow teaching groups or sharing a message or doing purpose-related work where you get your message out to a lot of people. The North Node and Uranus are here. So when the sun connects with these this month, and we've got eclipse season at the end of the month and everything, you could have some major developments not only now, but in the next 6 months that come, that really grow a presence for you online, that maybe grow your friendship circle, that maybe attract people in, teachers, groups, organizations, that really shape your ideals, what you want for your future, really help you to step further into the goals that you've had, and also ultimately really shape and develop who you are and who you are becoming. So ultimately, I really love this energy of Taurus season for you. This is your time to shine. And yeah, I think it's going to be good energy for friends and connections, because that's ultimately an area of life that's really on the mend and growing and changing. That's going to be happening until the summer of 2023. So I like that. I think that connection is going to be a really, really significant thing. You've been doing a lot of healing. Got eclipse cycles in the 12th and 6th house for you for the past 18 months. You've been diving deep. Some of you had some health issues. Some of you, there's been a lot going on. Spiritual transformation, just feeling lonely. So now is your time, right? And it's going to start happening quicker than you probably anticipated. And we'll talk about why in a moment. So Taurus season begins on April 19th. That's when the sun moves into this house. And then we move, I just want to bring this to your attention. This is not very prominent yet. It won't be until our video next month. But Mercury, the planet of mind, thought, decision-making, planning, strategizing, communicating, is moving into its shadow for its retrograde that will happen May 10th of next month. This is going to start setting the stage for maybe some of those reworkings, reorganizing, re-strategizing, replanning, rethinking, some of those mental energies that are... All right, you guys, I'm so sorry about that. My camera died in the middle of recording and I lost a bunch of footage. So then I had to go to work. So here I am again, I'm back. But we were discussing the Mercury, upcoming Mercury retrograde that's going to take place from May 10th through about June 3rd. But Mercury is now starting to enter what's called its shadow period, right? Which is like, it's a pre-period where a lot of times if we're not aware of it, we're not even conscious that there's a lot of situations that are kind of setting themselves up in our lives that we will be actually working through more so in the retrograde period itself. So it's very interesting to follow this. And the retrogrades this year, they're actually going to be moving from earth signs into air signs. From air signs back into earth signs and then back into air signs. So this specific retrograde for you is going to be moving back and forth from Gemini to Taurus, which is your 12th and your 11th house. So there's been a lot of new growth, particularly in the area of friendship, especially after these last two Taurus eclipses, the one being in November, which was helping you to maybe release some things surrounding the area of friends or groups or goals that no longer served you. It was a lunar eclipse, which is all about a release or a letting go. Now, this eclipse at the end of the month, which we will discuss soon, we will be probably working through some of those topics that the eclipse brings in, or that the eclipse is going to bring in the next months that follow. So this could particularly be, I'm going to give you just a couple examples, because the 12th house it's a house of rest and retreat. But since your 12th house is Gemini, this could very well be doing things behind the scenes related to work, writing, working on your goals, working within groups. Maybe you're studying something in groups. Maybe this is something related to spiritual development. And you could be reworking a lot of these different things. If anybody has like groups that they teach in, or maybe a social platform of some sort, anything that you could be working towards, there could be some things that are going on behind the scenes, restructuring with these different dynamics that you're not quite ready to maybe announce or put out there yet. So that's one way. It's a reworking is what a retrograde is. But we're going to talk about this a little bit more. I just want you guys to be aware of that. This could very well be ways in which you self-sabotage. So you keep an eye out right now about maybe enemies, self-sabotaging behaviors, subconscious tendencies that get in your way, related to the topic of friends, right? Or groups, and how we kind of fit into those dynamics. So I just wanted to make you aware of that because on April 26th, Mercury enters its shadow period at 26 degrees of Taurus, which actually activates that lunar eclipse in Taurus from November. It's another activation point of that that's very much going to be tied in with this Mercury retrograde next month. So it's really not something we need to be too aware of right now, but I wanted you to at least, Ozzy, sorry. I wanted you to at least, he had something to say about it. So he wants you to pay more attention to it than I do apparently. So just pay attention as Mercury starts moving through its shadow. That you might notice some of these topics pop up. You can be a little bit more self-aware of that. So other than that, rounding out the month here on April 29th, we have some pretty big things coming up at the end of the month. We've got Pluto, which is going to be stationing retrograde. So Pluto will be the first planet that kind of breaks the streak of no retrograde planets. Although Pluto is an outer planet, so its retrograde happens for half the year, and it tends to be very subtle in its influence. So it's not something like we're super recognizing on a daily basis. It's very intense, but it does rework us on a very deep level. Pluto is a planet of transformation of some of the deeper things within us, right? Our own psychological workings, inner workings, maybe some of our traumas, fears, compulsions, obsessions, addictions. These could be past life related. It could be things that we're working on from earlier in our life. And this is going to be happening in your house of relationships. So there's been a lot moving forward in the house of intimate connections with others. This could be platonic, it could be friend, it could be business. This could very well have to do with your contracts and negotiations that you're involved with, maybe business related, who knows? Or maybe, let's see. Yeah, we'll go ahead and leave it with that. But obviously, Pluto's been moving through this house, and there's been several retrogrades with Pluto since 2008. So this is more so going to really be affecting those of you who have planets and points within that 26 to 28 degree mark in the fixed or in the cardinal signs. So obviously Cancer, this would be anybody with planets or points, your ascendant or any other planets or points you might have in Cancer between 26 to 28 degrees. But also if you have Capricorn, Aries, or Libra placements, then this is going to be having more so of a direct and intense impact for you. But this is nice because it's going to help you to purge and release and come more so into alignment with what it is you truly want for the long term in your relationship sector. What is more aligned with your truth moving forward? So that's one thing to be aware of, and that retrograde is going to be taking place until, I believe, October. Then rounding out the month, Cancer, we've got a Taurus partial solar eclipse happening in your 11th house of friends, another activation of this exciting house. This is a house of gains as well. And I like this because this eclipse is happening at 10 degrees Taurus. This is on April 30th, and it is a partial eclipse. So unless you have significant planets or points there, or maybe this is within that range of your ascendant, if you are an ascendant that's anywhere between, let's say, 5 to 15 degrees of Cancer, then this will be making a sextile, which is a really nice aspect of energy that you can work with to ground some of your goals or, become what you are wanting to become, because this is affecting your identity and who you are. So some of your long range goals and plans could actually be coming true. You could be stepping into that role. People could actually see you as that. So this could be great for gaining more influence or actually bringing people into your life, because this is North Node related too. And North Node solar eclipses tend to bring in new beginnings, right? Because this is technically a supercharged new moon, new beginnings, new people, new places, new things, new friends, new groups, new organizations, or people who are beneficial to you in some way that could help you achieve what it is you're trying to achieve in life. And this could happen very quickly. The reason I say that is because usually eclipses, they play out in 6-month cycles or 6-month time periods, because eclipse season happens 2 times per year. So usually this will play out over the course of the next 6 months. There are several planets that will travel over the eclipse point and activate it in the next 6 months. And for this, it's actually conjunct this eclipse is conjunct Uranus, which brings sudden and unexpected change, or events that transpire that come out of the blue. You could literally be connecting people that are literally wacky, outside of the box, eccentric, different than the norm, heretics of society, people who are just outside of the status quo, outside of the norm, that really help you to develop your truth, your identity of who you are. You know what I mean? And help you gain influence out in the world in some way, or help you achieve your goals in some way. So ultimately, what I love about this eclipse too, just to make another point, I like to emphasize the more positive things because we do have a lot of difficulty. So let me just tell you a little bit more. This eclipse, not only is it connected with Uranus and in Taurus and making really nice aspect to your ascendant, but the ruler of this eclipse is Venus, and Venus right now is conjunct Jupiter in Pisces, which is they're sextiling each other. Another really nice harmonizing energy of you being able to magnetize things towards you, and an energy that can be really beneficial if you're willing to work with it in your house of higher education, teaching, foreign culture, travel, all of those things. So if there is an opportunity to learn right now, maybe there's a teacher that's coming in, maybe there's an opportunity to teach something, which is also in return teaching you and helping you learn further. The best way to learn is to teach, right? They say that all the time. So this could be really beautiful energy, especially with that Jupiter-Neptune conjunction. So much could fall into place. This is a very magical eclipse, especially for you, Cancer. It's hitting you in all the right ways. So anywho, it almost makes me wonder if something's going to be developing with a work opportunity for you too, because Jupiter rules over the 6th house of work. It's with Venus. I don't know if there could be connections of work-related relationships. Maybe for some of you it's love. Maybe for some of you it's really getting more physical, taking better care of your body, and all of these things are really starting to solidify and come true. So we're going to leave it at that. That was a lot of information for you guys to kind of process and integrate. And feel free to come back to this video as many times as you need. Bookmark it throughout the month. Get more insight as you go along, right? But thank you guys so much. I hope you like this new format. And if you do, please leave me a comment below and just let me know what your thoughts are. I'm excited to kind of unfold my new content creation strategy as the month moves forward and we start doing videos just breaking down the transits as they go along. I feel like this is going to be a lot more helpful for all of us. So you, me, we'll all help each other. It'll be a great experience. But leave me a comment below. Let me know how you like this, how you resonate. Share this with anybody you feel might benefit. And I will see you guys soon. Peace and namaste.